Guys, our next guest needs very little introduction. But you saw him putting on an absolute masterclass over Paulo Costa to defend his title. And it seems like he may be moving up in his next fight to capture the light heavyweight belt as well. Joining us from Las Vegas after watching Anderson Silva's last fight last night, the UFC middleweight champion, Israel the Stylebender, Adesanya. Welcome back to Submission Ready. And by the way, thank you so much. I think we woke you up. We appreciate you joining us. This is sacred time right here that we're cutting into.
I appreciate it. It's all good. No worries. Yeah, I'm out here. I'm living my best life. So, yeah, shoot.
I know. You're in Vegas. You're there for your teammate, Carlos Ulberg. He fights in a couple of days on Dana White's Contender Series. But we all saw you sitting cage side as Anderson Silva had his final fight. Obviously, a man that you shared the octagon with. Just wondering, man, what was it like for you sort of being there? I guess witnessing history, right? If this is his last fight, you got to be there cage side. I imagine pretty special considering you watching him at UFC 90 back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was special. I was just in awe. Like I sat down and I kind of like, when we first got to the arena, I sat down and I looked around and I started laughing, and Brad just looked at me and we just started laughing because it was just like, fuck, we're actually here. And even the big show opener, the big clip that plays before the shows, you know, like it's a real high clip. I don't know how what you call it, like the intro. It's a hype, like really hype clip. I was the only person clapping, like when it was going. I was like, yeah, because it's like these people. They were like, they put in their contract, you can't have fun. It's prohibited to have fun. So yeah, I was just there like a kid in a candy store, and I just felt privileged and yeah, just special to be there.
Yeah, it was a crazy atmosphere because who would have thought that Anderson Silva possibly had his final fight in front of an empty crowd at the Apex Center, and I suppose a fight night, and he came out first, and there was no crowd there. It was pretty crazy. But the crazy thing is, you were one of the only guys that got to see it as well, which is such an honor and privilege. Did you get a chance to speak to him after the fight, or was he sort of busy with his family and friends? We saw he had a few there.
No, I left him alone. We didn't cross paths, bro. We kind of did, but like he was busy. But I mean, I'm not gonna go up to the guy and like take this moment away. It's his moment, you know. I'm not gonna like run up and be like, because I know there's cameras around, so I don't need that. I'm not a clout trap, I'll put it that way.
I know the clout trap hashtag has been something that you've been putting out lately. I want to ask you though, right? Because you're a guy who loves sort of MMA history. We always see you dropping like little facts and stuff. Joe Rogan has that famous line about Anderson Silva's a different kind of striker, and he sort of changed the game. You know, for you, man, what do you think was his biggest contribution to the sport of MMA? You know, now that his career's kind of wrapped up.
His biggest contributions to the sport of MMA. Oxygen. Let me think. His biggest contribution. It's not his biggest. I don't know how to say. I don't know. What's his biggest contribution? His time. He gave his time for the game. Yeah, like that's his biggest contribution to the game of MMA. And the way people look at striking, like when he came on the scene, was different. People look at striking differently. I mean, look at how we did, you know, the front kicks. You know, he changed the game with that too. There's a lot, but I just feel like his time. That was his biggest contribution to the game.
It's incredible to see him still in there just last weekend. When you kind of look at his legacy and how long he stuck around the sport, what are your thoughts on it? Because some people are critical saying, oh, you know, he's a little bit old. He should have sort of retired sooner. Other people saying it's incredible to see a guy at his age still competing with the best in the world and still looking so good and still being in there. When you kind of look at that and look at your own career, are you in the sense where it's like you want to get in, you know, hit your goals, get out before that point in your 40s, or are you in that sense that, hey, if you can do it and if you can compete at a high level, you know, why not get in there? Why not express yourself if it's what you love to do?
I agree. I think so. And if you can, you can, you know. But you can't. I don't know. It's not up to people, the crowd, to tell him what to do. I mean, he's his own man. He makes his own choices. And, yeah, he looked good. He looked good last night. And Uriah found his confidence and, you know, was able to catch him with the chaos he created. But yeah, who are you to tell Anderson Silva when to retire? He'll know when to retire. I just hope it's not too late. But he knows his own body. He knows how he feels, so he'll retire when he wants to. And if that's his last fight, I'll be glad. I'm like, that's dope. I felt like I would have been a good last fight for him to see himself out too. But yeah, it's how the cookie crumbles.
You mentioned Uriah sort of found his confidence. Were you impressed with his win? He looks like he's sort of coming after you some point in the near future.
Was I impressed with his win? That's no shade, no like bad blood or anything. Nah. I just, he said something stupid. I saw there was a quote. It was on Instagram. He danced with him. I finished him. So, yeah, you did it in the 4th round. I only had 3 rounds with him. I hate when people throw stupid shade like that. But, yeah, it's a stupid statement. So, yeah, I wasn't really impressed.
It's funny because you were there just trying to watch the fight and not sort of be the center of attention. And all of a sudden, you've got all these guys in the octagon just calling you out, yelling at you, things from the octagon. What did you make of this whole Kevin Holland thing?
I don't want to feed the clout trouts. I don't respect clout trouts. You can't fight a welterweight on 2 days' notice, And his last opponent, the same thing. He fought some guy on a few days' notice. The guy that did the crazy spinning kick thing on a few days' notice. And then start barking. And people say, shoot your shot. Yeah. He shoots like a stormtrooper. So, no, we're not going to talk about him. He's a clout trout, ultimate.
All right, well, let's talk about the big news, the main event, so to speak, what we've actually been wanting to talk to you about. And that is obviously Dana White saying that you're going to be moving up to fight Jan Blachowicz in your next fight for the light heavyweight belt. Is it true? Can you confirm it? Is this actually happening?
Yep. It's official. I was supposed to, the Shmo was asking me yesterday. I don't know if I can say it yet, but fucking hell. I guess Dana broke the news. So, yeah, I'm moving up to 205. And I'm going to snatch that 205 strap. Respectfully.
What was the conversation like to sort of lead to that decision? Were you always aiming to move up and fight Jan? Or was it when you saw that sort of Jared Cannonier and the Robert Whittaker fight played out the way that it did and sort of the interest shifted to going to potentially fight for the light heavyweight title?
Pretty much. I mean, Robert did well to stifle Jared, broke his arm, and I was looking forward to that fight. So I was like, all right, I don't know. Then it's like the ultimate alley-oop. It's like the ultimate alley-oop from the universe. Just like, I'm like, yes, it's perfect. And this is the thing. You have to be flexible in this game. In life, you have to be flexible because nothing's certain, nothing's given. The landscape of things change all the time. And yeah, this is just, right there for the taking. So I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect for that Jones fight I keep talking about. This is perfect leading up to it. So yeah, it was just right there for the taking.
After the fights last night, Dana White said that he was a little bit surprised with Robert Whittaker, that he wasn't sort of pushing that hard to get this rematch with you. He's more kind of chilled out than a lot of other contenders we've seen in the past. I'm just wondering, what do you make of him sort of not being too fussed about when this rematch between you and him goes down? It's an interesting perspective that he's got.
Yeah, smart. Smart. I too want to spend Christmas with my family, and I will. Behind the scenes, I'm doing a lot to ensure my family makes it home for Christmas, and we all spend Christmas together as a family. I need to talk about that. But, yeah, it's important to me. So I'm making sure that happens. But I think his perspective is, I know what he means. I kind of get it. Like, you don't have to force it. If you know, you know. And he knows. So, yeah, I'll probably see him again in New Zealand down the line. And, yeah, it's one of those things you don't push or force. Like, he knows. I get it.
Because, I mean, if everything goes to plan and you become the light heavyweight champion, then that Jon Jones fight is just right there. It's so huge, and hopefully crowds can start, attending events again. I know they can in New Zealand and also in the States. So would it be a situation where you see that Jon Jones fight happens first and then you return back to the middleweight division and defend your title? Or could we see you back in the middleweight division right after winning that light heavyweight belt before the Jon Jones fight, do you think?
Both. Like I said just before, you have to be very flexible in this game of life because this is nothing certain. The landscape of things is always moving. So either one I can do.
For you to hold two belts at the same time, I mean, what do you think that sort of says about you as a fighter? What do you think it does for your legacy?
Yeah, I'll be that guy. Everyone keeps talking about goat shit. I tweeted I'm a bird. You know? For me, it's just more money, more notoriety. I get pushed more. I'm up there, like the legacy thing, you know. But even Andrew Schultz just planted a seed today. Like, I'm about to do something. Andrew Schultz planted a seed to me today. Like, it was, I don't know if you know who Andrew Schultz is. I'm sure you should. He's a friend of mine. He's a famous comedian. But I realized I'm about to do something in literally just under 3 years, what Jones hasn't even done in over how long in the company? Over 10 years. I'm about to do it in 3 years and move up in weight. He's doing it now after how long, and we're still seeing if he's actually going to do it. And like, it's crazy how everything's just set up, man. I take this belt from Jan. If for whatever reason Jones actually moves up and fights a heavyweight, like, imagine if he got the belt somehow by some freak of nature.
We were thinking about that.
Like, I'm like, fuck you, I'm going to heavyweight then. 3 belts at the same time. Like, Andrew planted that seed in my head, and I was just like, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So, because I was thinking, like, if you're holding the belt that he previously held, would that be kind of like a carrot dangling on a stick for him to come back down? But you would rather go up and then just get 3 belts instead.
That's a big fuck you to him, just to be like, I did something you couldn't. He cleared the division of the light heavyweight twice over, and then started fighting recycled middleweights. You know, so don't come at me talking about move up and weight and fight. You know, when you can't even do the same thing after over 10 years in the company. So I'm actually about to do it. It's a good fight for me to do it with Jan. He's a good fighter. He's solid on the ground. He's awkward on the feet. Very dangerous. And he poses a lot of problems. And like, the Whittaker fight wouldn't get me hard. This gets me hard. Like, this is like, all right, let's go. You know? Yeah.
I love it. You know what else is crazy, right? Like, people, I don't know how much you get into the whole GOAT talk and stuff, but I think as it stands, people sort of still see Anderson as the middleweight GOAT. And I think after the Costa fight, people were talking about, like, man, it's pretty close, it's pretty neck and neck. But do you feel like this kind of separates you from Anderson even more and sort of enhances your middleweight legacy? Because he's a guy who moved up in weight a lot of times, but he never captured that belt. If you beat Jan, you're going to be the first guy to do that.
People just have to understand that whole GOAT talk, the whole pound for pound list is made up. It's literally people are fighting over made up bullshit. Like, it's made up. It's all subjective. And this is opinions. So everyone's allowed to have who they think is the GOAT. And if someone says, I think fucking Herb Dean's the GOAT, let them have that opinion. It's like, you know, it's opinions. So I don't really, you see me, I just made fun of it by saying I was a bird. But it's just silly. Like, it's just everyone's arguing over it. And the funny thing is, even like how Jones tweeted right after Khabib won. This is what I talk about when you talk about reaction and responding. Sorry, he tweeted, "I stepped down and relinquish my GOAT title. Wedge, you can take this." And then he comes back and was like, "Hang on, me." And I saw him like crying over Twitter, trying to get guys to like him. And no, I'm the GOAT, nigga. I'm the bird. That's me, and I'm flying. That's how I feel. All this GOAT talk. It's fun. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but what does it actually mean? What does it mean? Gets the people going. It's provocative. What it is.
Yeah, well, I guess the other thing is, like, it kind of categorizes fighters, right? So I was just thinking about you as, like, you know, a middleweight moving up. Like, if you win this belt, are you one of the greatest middleweights of all time? Do you see yourself as a middleweight sort of moving up? Or are you kind of more like a fluid fighter who just kind of fights at whatever weight classes? Because especially if you are the middleweight champion, the light heavyweight champion, and the heavyweight champion, it's kind of hard to even categorize you as you know, what really are you as a fighter?
What is fucking a style bender? That's what I am. I don't know how to answer that. I'm just me. I'm a style bender. I adapt. I adapt very well to different situations, different weight classes. And people are just going to keep realizing that it's just hard to beat me. I can be beat. I know how to beat me, but it's just really hard to beat me. I watched that Costa fight a few times already. It's been a while. See, that's the thing. I have to watch it again to remind myself because it's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks since I've seen it. But I need to remind myself. But when I watch it again, I already know how it beat me if I was fighting me. But yeah, I mean, middleweight goat, light heavyweight bird, fucking heavyweight Tyrannosaurus Rex, whatever animal you want to attach to it. I'm just enjoying myself as a style bender, man.
And while we're on record, Cody McKenzie is my goat, but that's neither here or there. Let me just quickly ask you.
McKenzie team. Well, if we want to talk about ultimate goats, like, did everyone just forget about Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson?
Yeah.
Or am I, like, if you want to talk about who is the most consistent, you talk about records, fighter of all time, like, weight classes, just a perfect fighter or near perfect. Never had one blemish, outside the octagon with steroids or anything like that. Never had any real problems inside the octagon. A few losses here and there to Dominic Cruz and Cejudo and blah, blah, blah. But if you want to talk about GOATs, a guy who is just a phenomenal fighter, someone who I would watch and just be like, how is his brain processing all that at the same time? And he's the suplex to armbar. Bruh, just stop all this GOAT talk and jibber jabbering. And see, a guy like him, he didn't even come on and say anything. He'd just been chilling, minding his own business with his wife and kids. He put me onto a new anime. I'm about to say anime because of you guys.
Contagious.
I can smack you with a Death Note.
I love it. The Death Note book. You know what else is a Death Note? Shaving your balls with a unsharpened, crappy razor like you probably have been doing for a while, which is why Manscaped has the Lawnmower 3.0 electric trimmer. You can trim it on not just your balls, but everything. It's got an LED light, 7,000 RPM, enough power to power 3 cities at the moment, and you get a sexy code with 20% off if you use our code submission. Isn't that right, Dennis?
Yeah, man. Listen, there's nothing worse. You get stuck in the shower, your crappy shaver stops, it does a terrible job, and you're bleeding from side to side. 90 minutes, man. 90 minutes and waterproof is how much you have with a Lawnmower 3.0. And don't just take our word for it. Go on manscaped.com right now. Use the code submission and get 10% off any product that you want. A lot of people think that it's just the Lawnmower 3.0, but there's the perfect package. You can get things like the Crop Preserver, which is a deodorant for below the belt, which we know a lot of people need. And also things like the Crop Reviver, a toner with an aloe vera infused cologne for below the belt as well. All sorts of things like nose trimmers, foot dusters, underwear, all sorts of things available there as well. So jump on manscaped.com. Use the code word submission now. Get 20% off and free shipping. How good is that?
Absolutely fantastic. Also, they sponsor guys like Sean O'Malley, Francis Ngannou, and Max Holloway, so we're in good company. Also, while we're giving out discounts, do you like to be on the internet? Dennis, I know you like to be on the internet. I know I like to be on the internet. We like to download all sorts of things, potentially questionable things, deleting our internet browser history afterwards. So if so, you need a good VPN. There's none better at the moment than Pure VPN. They give you access to all sorts of different services, over 2,000 plus servers in 140 countries. You can use it on all your devices. You can stream all sorts of things like Disney Plus, 7 Netflix regions. If there's something on one Netflix but not your local one, you can check it out. And they're giving away an awesome 62% Halloween special discount along with a trial plan for the first time. Use the code submission and it gives you an extra 10% discount on already discounted plans.
Dude, listen, there's nothing worse than signing up to a VPN that steals all of your personal information and you still go to prison because you accidentally downloaded the wrong thing. Stop taking your computer, burying it under the water and breaking it with a hammer every time you accidentally go on the wrong website. Go with these guys. They're absolutely amazing. This deal is Really, really good. You get 62% off. And if you use that code word, like Casper said, an extra 10% off. Go to purevpn.com right now /submission and get the deal. And let us know what you think about it, because I'll tell you what, there is a lot of stuff to watch right now all over the world. Don't be restricted by one type of Netflix, or because you're in a different place or a different country and you can't check something out. Jump on this code word right now, submission. purevpn.com /submission. Use the code word submission and get an extra 10% off. Do it now. But Israel, we've got a lot of people sort of theorizing about if Israel moves up to light heavyweight or heavyweight, how would that work? And I'm just curious, because I know you've sort of spoken to us about this before. Would you probably be just staying near that middleweight sort of weight range that you're in right now and just fighting at the higher weight classes? Or do you have to put on a bit of weight if you do move up to, like, say, heavyweight? And then is there, yeah,
like, that's why I already know that's fucking Jon Jones's downfall. Is, I need to move up the weight back on the side. Some people are just so stupid. They play the game so stupid. I've done it in kickboxing. I weighed in at heavyweight with my clothes on and a tray of Dunkin' Donuts in my hand, and I was like 90-something kgs. Like, skills, bro. Yeah, sure, you want to put on size. All right. Is your body used to being that heavy? Are you used to moving around that heavy with the work rate you were doing with all your your previous fights? Yeah, I just don't play the game like everyone else. I'll just chill. I'll stay me. I'm gonna get stronger. I always do, but I'm not gonna, like, purposely put on muscle just so I can meet a weight class. Stupid.
What do you, I mean, obviously, if you're going to go in there and fight Jan, he is the challenge at hand. What do you think of him as an actual challenge as far as a fighter, stylistic matchup? What do you make of him?
I said before I said he's dangerous on the ground. He's awkward on the feet. Got that legendary Polish power.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone's got power, right? I mean, something I proved in my last fight. I told y'all. It's you have to deliver that power somehow. You have to get it to the target. I'm not the easiest target to hit.
I'll tell you, man, it's been a crazy 2020, but we were talking to Carlos before, and what a crazy 2020 it has been for City Kickboxing. You guys have been in and out of quarantine, hanging out together, and I don't think you had many days out of quarantine because you're helping each other out and going in and out of training camps. How would you, now that 2020 is sort of coming to an end, and you're in this great role where you get to be in the corner for your teammate in one of the most pivotal fights of his career, how do you look back on this year and on all these crazy moments that you've gotten to experience that are almost like out of a movie?
Straight up, it is. Like, fuck, it's top player one thing. You guys think it's like me just saying shit. Like, I'm player one, everyone else is just bots. It is. My life is the movie. Like, everyone does that, but, like, actually, it feels like one Truman Show type shit, where I have to sometimes just pinch myself and be like, damn. Like, even being here, I'm just grateful. I kept on just feeling grateful and putting myself in that position to feel grateful, because I'm like, yeah, I get to be able to travel when most people can't or won't. I get to see the world. I get to see certain things that most people won't, and experience things as well. Yeah, life is crazy, man. I'm just grateful to be here, be alive in this era, witnessing everything that's happening in my life. So it's been set up this way. I set it up this way for a long time, and there's a lot of variables that came through, but I keep saying grateful. I just feel grateful. I feel blessed. The best way I can put it. I feel blessed to be here.
Oh, well, we can totally understand why. I know you're helping your teammate Junior Farr prepare for his big fight, massive fight against Joseph Parker. But I'm just curious, when could this Jan fight happen? What's your timeline looking like?
Junior needs Eugene, and even Carlos right now. Who else? Like, for me, I can't be the only guy catching all the shine. We need other people. We need other people. Like, we have a lot of fighters, a lot of talented fighters. So they need Eugene's attention as well. So I can take a step back. I don't need to fight. I was trying to fight again before the year ends. I was so fresh from the last one. I was like, yeah, let me get one more in. But I'd rather, Eugene's time and expertise be used with Junior and the other fighters at the gym, so they can get some of his time.
Well, I almost feel like the reason you're in Vegas now is just to sort of repay the favor to Carlos. Like, he sort of helped you out for the Costa fight. I know Jan wants March. Could March be a possibility if that happens?
Like you said, yeah, Carlos was in Abu Dhabi looking for a fight, but he was there to help me out, help us out as teammates. And I've got money. I can pay, and do this and buy that, but there's something that you can't get back, and that's time. Giving your time to those who've given their time to you, that's the best way to pay it forward, to pay it back. And I'm doing just that, and that's what teammates do. But time frame wise, it's up in there. I know what you're trying to do, but you're not going to get it from
me. To be continued. Well, at least you saw through it. I like that. Keeping it real. We'll let you go. We'll let you go in a second, Israel. I know you've got the Death Note book there. Probably going to reread it. With this fight, though, you mentioned how it's kind of a big fuck you to Jon Jones. And I was on your Twitter the other day. You've got the Jon Jones cocaine meme as sort of like your Twitter banner, and I can't help but think like that's kind of a new one from you. But
actually, I took the other one down off my pin tweets because I put the whole "I'm a bird" thing up.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot there's the banner there, but I'll leave it there. I like it. It's funny.
It is a funny welcome to your Twitter. It's like, oh, hey, how you going? But I feel like
Puma's like, we picked the perfect athlete to represent our brand around the world.
They love me.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That's the thing I like about Puma as well. I'm ready with everything. Like, they are always forthcoming with support and what can we do to help you. And they don't try and control me. They don't try and censor me, which I really appreciate. They let me say and do what the fuck I want because they know I'm not going to hurt or, insult no one. I mean, people are going to take offense to what I say anyway, but I just like the fact that they just let me be me. They let me express. They don't try and stifle me.
And the ads are really cool as well. They kind of represent you as an individual, yeah.
Facts. Like, Puma is just levels above right now, man. Like, everyone, even I slept on Puma for years because it wasn't around as much. But like, when you go on the website, you have a look at some of their kicks. God damn, bro, they're just killing the game. So I'm gonna put them on again.
Yeah, it's good when a company lets you do your own thing. Like with Manscaped, we talk about balls all day long and they don't care. But I was going to say, like with that meme about Jon Jones, the biggest rivalry thus far has been him and DC. And that was a pretty big, bad blood feud. But I feel like with you being younger than DC, more in touch with memes and internet culture, I feel like there were certain lines that DC never wanted to cross. And I feel like you're more than happy to take this into certain places that maybe DC didn't really want to take it. I feel like this could be, the most brutal feud of Jon Jones's career by the time this fight happens. It's still building. Do you sort of see it that way?
Trust me, he doesn't want to war with me. Like, he's always. I'm only talking about him because you guys ask about him, and I have to say something. So I don't talk about him unless I'm asked about him. I don't speak back to him unless he says something stupid to me. He started all this when on TMZ. He started all this. I didn't have any intention of going to light heavyweight. Then he's like, I like to fight Israel Adesanya, and he could eat a little bit more jerk chicken, some. And I was like, huh? Oh, he wants to fight me? I'm like, why the fuck does the light heavyweight champ want to fight me? I'm not even the middleweight champion. Was that the champ? I can't remember. But I was just like, all right, no, I wasn't the champ yet. I was like, I just beat Silva. That's right. I was like, okay, all right, I guess this is happening. But yeah, I don't. Trust me, I'm not one to war with. I mean, certain things he did with DC, like what DC will tell you, talked about, his dad passing away and John, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Like little low-key jabs. I'm not the one to war with. I understand this game of war. I know strategy in a way that not many people would, especially online, because I'm a fucking troll. I can troll these motherfuckers. I'm not a troll in that sense where I'll hide behind a keyboard. Well, I'll come see you. And he knows that already, so... Yeah, there's certain lines he already crossed when he brought my dad up, and I was like, right, I mentioned his mom. And I was like, how could you mention his dead mother? Look, I don't wait till my parents are dead before I put them on a pedestal. I don't wait till they're gone. I put them on a pedestal now, so you don't ever fucking put my parents' name or anything about them in your lips, in your life. So yeah, I don't wait till my parents are dead before I put them on a pedestal. I'll do that now. And yeah, there's more. There's more. Trust me, you don't want war because there's more.
And he's got to be careful as well because you've got a quarantine period coming up. So you guys,
the memes.
on your hands. This could be part 2 or part 3, right?
I'm up in here after, and I'll trust me. I don't want to say. I can't give too much away, but the clip is loaded, bro. I got clips and clips on clips. Boom. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. But it's fun and games anyway. We're going to fight. Right now, I'm focused on Jan. That's my main thing. And I don't like dealing with fucking fuckboys like that anyway, because they just, he's a clout trout. He's a clout trout. Fucking big, dick sucking lip, clout trout. That's what he is, because he sees what's happening with me. And I've said this for so long. People can't fathom why he would be jealous of me, so they just think I'm lying. I'm like, no, I can read it. It's envy. It's so easy to see when you know. If you know, you know.
But this Jan fight, this is for you, right? I know you kind of framed it as like a fuck you to Jon Jones, but this isn't just a way to lure Jon Jones. This is for you, right? For your legacy, for your everything.
Of course, it's just challenges. Like, what's gonna challenge me? What's gonna get my dick hard? Like I said, Robert doesn't do that. Like, I'm gonna fuck a guy up that I already fucked up twice in one fight. If it came up, there's one other way that fight will get me up, but it doesn't do it for me. So I was like, what's gonna like light a fire under my ass? What's gonna make me like chase greatness? Chase fucking greatness, man. Yeah, this does. This makes me want to chase greatness. Like, yeah. You guys need to understand. Like, this is just I'm not new to this. I am, but I'm not new to this because I've prepped, I've plotted this the whole way through, and everything I've said I've done correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, keep doubting me, everybody else, because it's not going to stop now.
Well, speaking of greatness, we just want to finish up by talking about Carlos. Obviously, he fights on the Dana White Contender Series. Everyone's really excited to see him do his thing at light heavyweight. For those that aren't too familiar with Carlos yet, and I mean, he has done some amazing things in the kickboxing scene in New Zealand, and he's already 2-0 in MMA. Sort of set the scene for us a little bit, for all the Americans and some of the Australians who haven't heard of him yet. What can they expect from his fight coming up on Thursday afternoon here in Australia?
Look, some days inspiring when I'm time, right? Find a new partner, and I'm just like, and then he makes eye contact with me, and I have to like, fuck.
He's that guy.
I'm like, all right, let's go. He's not fun to spar. He's fun to spar, but he's not fun to spar, especially when he's on. And one thing I like about this, even smart kid, he didn't come to the fight yesterday. He didn't come to the fight night. You know why? He didn't want to ride on my coattails. He wants to create his own trail. He doesn't want to be known as just Izzy's teammate. He wants to blaze his own trail. He's smart. He's already on. He's very in touch with who he is as well. Like, people will judge him when they see him because he's a big, pretty muscly, like, killer striker and everything. But when you get to know him, probably not yet, because on camera, I don't know if he'll come across yet. But like, when you get to know him, you realize there's more than me side with that guy. We call him a soul brother. He and Shane Young, because they're on some other shit. Like, they vibe on a whole different wavelength. Yeah, he's interesting on like in fighting and in real life. Like, I just can't wait, man. He's gonna fuck this dude up. Not sorry.
He's a very, very deep guy. From what we spoke to him just before, you can tell why you guys have a lot in common. I imagine the D&Ms would be pretty deep, but I feel like we've chewed up. You go.
I'm just saying, like, he's very deep. Like, he's very in tune with himself, like I said, and he's just very in tune with everything around him as well. He's a smart guy. He's a well-read kid, like he's on. Yeah, he's very on.
Not just a pretty face. And it's good to see you giving back, man. It's good to see you in Vegas, you and Brad Riddell helping cornering Carlos and sort of, even being in there for the Silva fight, which was awesome for you. Follow the man at StyleBend and prepare to get offended, man, because there's no filter. He keeps it real 100%. The memes, the meme majesty, everything coming at you. Israel, we could talk to you for hours, man. Once again, I think slightly greedy with your time, man. So we'll appreciate it. We'll let you get on with your morning, let you wake up properly. And thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us.
It's all good. Easy as.